The alien vessel drifted through endless darkness. Its engines were dead, its weapons silent, and its crew weak from hunger and fear. Once this ship had been a proud guardian of its people's border. Now it was nothing more than a broken shell, floating in the cold emptiness of space. Inside the vessel, dim lights flickered like dying stars. The crew moved slowly, their faces pale, their bodies trembling. They had fought a battle they could never win. A stronger enemy had ambushed them, tearing through their defenses, leaving them stranded in the void. Many of their brothers and sisters had already perished. The survivors knew the truth. They were living on borrowed time. The captain, a tall figure with tired eyes, stood before the central console. His claws tapped the control screen, sending out one more signal. It was a distress call, a final plea into the endless black. "Someone, anyone, hear us," he whispered, though he knew no one was listening. For days they had been transmitting their cry for help. They sent it on every channel, every frequency, every language they could manage. But silence was their only answer. The great powers of the galaxy had already heard them. The larger empires, the so-called guardians of peace, had ignored them. Why waste resources on a broken crew from a minor world? Why risk ships for lives that no longer mattered? The crew gathered around their captain. Their voices were low, almost hopeless. "Captain," one whispered, "no one is coming." Another added, "We are alone. The galaxy has abandoned us." The captain's gaze remained on the stars outside the viewport. He wanted to argue, to tell them hope still existed. But even he could not lie to himself anymore. Their oxygen was running thin. Their food supplies were gone. Soon, even the lights would die. Yet still, he pressed the button to send the signal, again and again and again. The universe felt like a vast graveyard, cold and uncaring. The crew wondered if their last act would be to vanish quietly, forgotten by all. But then, something happened. A light blinked on the console. A signal. Response, the crew gasped. Their hearts raced. Someone had heard them. The captain leaned forward, his claws shaking. The frequency was strange. The language was unlike the common codes of the galaxy. The symbols on the screen were sharp, foreign, and powerful. "What is this?" the captain whispered. The crew stared, fear mixed with wonder. Another voice spoke from the speakers. It was deep, steady, and filled with a strange weight. The translator struggled at first, but then words began to form. "This is Earth Command. We received your call." The room went silent. The crew looked at one another in confusion. They had heard the name before. Whispers in the galactic trade routes, old records buried in forgotten archives. Humanity. A species many thought was myth, or long gone. The name carried with it stories of wars so brutal that entire empires had vanished. The captain's voice shook. "Earth? You are human?" The reply came calm, almost cold. "Yes, you asked for help, and we came." The alien crew could not believe it. For days the mighty empires had ignored their cries. For days the galaxy had abandoned them. And yet here, from the far edge of known space, a single human ship had answered. Hope flickered in the crew's eyes, but with that hope came fear. Why would the humans help them? Humanity was not known for mercy. They were known for something else entirely. Some said humans were saviors. Others said they were destroyers. Which truth would the crew discover? The captain looked out at the stars again. Somewhere out there, a ship was moving toward them. A ship flown by the most mysterious and feared species in galactic memory. He turned to his crew. His voice was quiet, almost reverent. "Our call has been answered, but I do not know if this is salvation or the end." The crew held their breath. The broken vessel remained adrift, waiting, as the dark silence of space prepared to be broken by the arrival of humanity. For the first time in many days, they felt something they thought they had lost forever. Suspense and fear. Because sometimes, the most dangerous answer is the one that finally comes. The alien vessel floated in silence, its crew holding their breath as the strange signal repeated again. "This is Earth Command. We received your call." The words echoed through the broken ship, almost unreal. For so long, only silence had answered them. Now a voice, a human voice, spoke across the stars. The captain's claws trembled over the console. The crew around him whispered nervously. "Humans," one muttered. "I thought they were gone." "Stories," another hissed. "Old myths to scare children." But myths did not speak. Myths did not answer distress calls. This was real. The captain forced his voice steady. "This is Commander Zorak of the vessel Valrin. We are dying. Our ship cannot move. Oxygen is failing. We have no weapons left. Please, if you mean us no harm, help us." Static filled the air for a long moment. Then the human voice returned, calm and steady. "Commander Zorak, your signal is weak, but we read you. Hold position. Assistance is on the way." The crew looked at each other in disbelief. Hold position? They had no choice. Their ship was already dead, but the idea of help actually coming felt impossible. The navigator leaned close to the captain. "Can we trust them? Humans are dangerous." The captain's eyes narrowed. "Dangerous, yes. But so are all species when desperate, and we have nothing left to lose." Minutes stretched into hours. The alien crew grew weaker, the air becoming thin, their bodies heavy. Fear gnawed at them with every heartbeat. Then on the long-range scanner, a shadow appeared. The crew rushed to the viewport. Out of the void, a massive shape emerged. At first, it looked like a drifting star, a faint glimmer in the darkness. But as it drew closer, its true form became clear, a human warship. The vessel was enormous, built from dark steel that reflected no light, only shadows. Its surface bore scars from old battles, burns across its hull, dents where weapons had struck. Yet it moved with silent power, like a predator gliding through water. The alien crew gasped. Some stepped back in fear. That is a human ship?" one whispered. "It looks like a relic," another said. "A beast from ancient wars." But the captain stared hard. No relic moved with such precision. No relic carried weapons that glowed faintly, humming with deadly power. The human ship stopped just beyond their vessel. Its presence alone filled the alien crew with both awe and dread. A new voice crackled over the speakers, different from before. This one was sharper, commanding. "This is Captain Elias of the UHS Resolute. We have locked onto your coordinates. We are preparing to board." The alien crew panicked. "Board? They're coming here?" one shouted. "They will kill us," another cried. The captain raised his hand, silencing them. His own chest was tight with fear, but he would not show it. "Quiet. We will see their intent soon enough." Moments later, the sound of metal echoed through the corridors. The humans had arrived. The alien crew gathered near the docking chamber, their bodies tense, their eyes wide. The door hissed open with a sharp hiss of pressure, and then they saw them. Humans. Tall, armored, their faces hidden behind helmets. They carried weapons unlike anything the aliens had ever seen, sleek, silent, and deadly. Their armor bore scratches from countless battles, yet it looked strong, impenetrable. The crew stepped back in fear. The humans advanced slowly, scanning the room, weapons held steady. Every move was calculated, precise, like predators who had hunted many times before. The captain stood firm. His voice cracked, but he spoke. "You are here to help?" The leading human stepped forward, removing his helmet. His face was scarred, his eyes sharp yet not cruel. He looked at the broken alien crew, then at their failing systems. "Yes," he said simply. "We came because you called." The alien crew froze. No one had expected such words. The human gestured and his team moved quickly. Tools replaced weapons. They began repairing life support, patching leaks, setting up oxygen tanks. Medics opened strange cases filled with supplies and rushed to the weakest crew. The aliens stared in shock. They had expected death. Instead, they saw rescue. One medic knelt beside a wounded alien, scanning his body with a handheld device. The alien gasped as pain began to fade, wounds closing with strange human technology. "Why?" the alien whispered. "Why save us?" the medic only replied. "Because no one else would." The captain felt his chest tighten. His people were alive because of these humans. And yet, he could not shake the unease. Humans were not saviors. They were storms. And a storm never came, without reason. He looked at Captain Elias, who watched silently as his crew worked. The humans' eyes were unreadable. For now, they were saved. But the captain knew something else, something darker. If humanity had returned to the galaxy, then nothing would ever be the same again. The corridors of the alien vessel no longer echoed with silence. Human boots struck the metal floors with a heavy rhythm, the sound of soldiers moving with purpose. The alien crew watched with wide eyes, their bodies tense as they tried to decide, were these figures truly saviors, or was this the beginning of their end? The human medics moved with surprising speed. They set up glowing machines that pumped fresh oxygen into the failing ship. They pressed strange patches onto the wounded, sealing burns and cuts in seconds. Some of the alien crew gasped as strength returned to their limbs. Yet for every act of kindness, there was still fear. The soldiers never let go of their weapons. Their armor remained locked in place, ready for battle at any second. Their eyes, sharp and unblinking, scanned every corner of the ship as if danger lurked in every shadow. The captain of the alien crew stood close to the humans, watching their every move. Finally he spoke, his voice steady but low. "Human captain," he said, "you risk much for strangers. Why? Why answer our call when no one else would?" Captain Elias turned his head slowly. His face was calm, unreadable, his voice steady. "Because you called," he answered. "That was enough." The alien captain narrowed his eyes. He did not understand. In the galaxy, everything had a price. The great empires never acted without gain. And yet these humans were here, repairing, healing, saving. Was this a trick? Or something far more dangerous? One of the younger crew stepped forward, trembling. He looked at the humans and whispered, "Are they angels or executioners?" The question hung in the air. No one dared answer. As repairs continued, the human engineers opened sealed panels and studied the alien systems. Their hands moved quickly, almost instinctively, as if they had studied countless machines across the stars. The alien crew could only watch, stunned. "How do they know our systems?" one whispered. "They should not," another replied. "Our technology is different, unique." But the humans worked without hesitation, adapting to the alien ship as though it were there. The alien captain stepped closer to Elias. "You have seen much war, haven't you?" The human's eyes flickered. For the first time, his expression changed. He did not answer with words, but the silence itself spoke volumes. War was written into his face, into the scars, into the way he carried himself, like a man who had walked through fire and survived. Before the alien captain could say more, alarms blared across the ship. The humans froze. Their helmets snapped back into place. Their weapons lifted in one smooth motion. "What is it?" Elias demanded. The alien crew rushed to the console. The navigator's hands shook as he read the incoming signals. His voice cracked. "They're back." The words fell like thunder. On the scanner, red marks appeared. Enemy ships. Dozens of them. The same fleet that had left the Valran crippled was now returning, sweeping the void like vultures circling their prey. The alien crew's hope cracked instantly. Fear returned sharper than ever. "They will finish us," one cried. "We cannot fight them again." But before despair could consume them, Captain Elias spoke. His voice was calm, but it carried the weight of steel. "Then you will not fight." "We will." The alien captain turned sharply. "You cannot face them alone. Their fleet is too large. Elias's eyes narrowed. You do not know us. One ship is enough. The alien crew stared at him in shock. The words sounded insane, yet there was no fear in his tone. Only certainty. The human soldiers moved swiftly back to their vessel. The boarding clamps released, and the UHS Resolute pulled away, its engines glowing faintly in the dark. Through the viewport, the alien crew watched in silence. The enemy fleet drew closer, a wall of light and steel. They outnumbered the humans 10 to 1, maybe more. This is madness, whispered the navigator. The alien captain said nothing. He could not look away from the human ship, a lone predator, surrounded by wolves. Inside the Resolute, the humans prepared for war, weapons powered up, glowing with deadly light. The ship itself seemed to awaken, as if it had been waiting for this moment. The alien crew heard Elias's final words echo over the comms. You called for help. We answered. Now, watch. And with that, the void lit up. The void outside the shattered alien vessel grew brighter as enemy ships closed in. One by one, red markers filled the scanner until the screen looked like blood spreading across glass. The alien crew trembled. They had seen this fleet before. They knew its strength. The enemy commander's voice cut through the comms, cruel and sharp. Broken survivors of the Valren, your time is over. No one will save you. We will erase your ship from the stars. The alien crew shrank back. The captain closed his eyes, knowing the words were true. Their vessel could not even move. Their weapons were dead. They had no defense. But then a second voice spoke, interrupting the enemy. This is Captain Elias of the UHS Resolute. The human voice was calm, steady, and filled with iron. You will not touch them again. The alien crew froze. The enemy commander laughed. And who are you, human? A lone relic? You dare challenge us? Elias's reply came like a blade. I do not challenge. I end. The comms fell silent. The galaxy itself seemed to hold its breath. From the viewport, the alien crew watched the Resolute. Its dark hull glimmered as hidden panels slid open, revealing rows of weapon systems. Cannons hummed with blue light. Torpedo bays unlocked with deep echoes. Strange energy pulsed through the warship like veins of lightning. The alien navigator whispered, I thought that ship was old. But this is something else. The enemy fleet moved closer, confident in their numbers. Dozens of cruisers formed into attack formation, their weapons glowing red. Against them, the lone human warship looked small, like a single wolf, surrounded by a pack of beasts. The alien crew pressed against the glass, hearts pounding. Run, one whispered. They should run. But the humans did not run. The Resolute advanced, slowly, fearlessly, like a predator that had already decided the outcome. The first wave of enemy fire lit the void. Red lances of plasma streaked across the darkness, slamming into the human ship. Explosions flared across its shields, shaking the vessel but not breaking it. The aliens gasped, expecting the Resolute to crumble. It did not. Instead, the human ship answered. Its cannons fired in perfect rhythm, blue streaks of light cutting across the darkness. Each shot struck with surgical precision. An enemy cruiser vanished in a single blast. Another tore apart, split in two like paper. The alien crew cried out in shock. One shot. One ship. They could not believe it. The humans did not fire. Wildly. Every shot was chosen, deliberate, final. The enemy commander shouted over comms, furious. All ships, destroy them! The fleet surged forward, filling the void with fire. The Resolute moved like no other vessel. It twisted through the chaos, its weapons burning bright. Torpedoes streaked outward, exploding with white fire that consumed whole squadrons. Enemy ships scattered, but the human warship hunted them one by one. The alien captain gripped the railing tightly. His eyes were wide, his voice low. They fight as if war is their nature, as if they were born for this. The younger crew trembled, unable to look away. They had heard rumors of humanity's wars, but this was no rumor. This was reality. The battle raged on. The enemy fleet, once confident, began to break. Their formation collapsed under the relentless storm of human fire. Ships fled, engines burning, desperate to escape. But escape was not allowed. The Resolute chased them down. It did not stop until silence returned to the stars. The alien crew stared at the scanner. What had once been a swarm of red was now empty. Only debris drifted through the void. The enemy fleet was gone. The comms crackled again. Captain Elias's voice returned, calm as ever. "Commander Zorak, your attackers are destroyed. You are safe, safe." The word echoed in the alien captain's mind. He could not believe it. Against impossible odds, against overwhelming force, the humans had not only fought, they had won. The crew cheered weakly, their voices shaking with relief. Some cried openly, clutching each other. For the first time in days, they felt hope. But their captain did not cheer. His eyes remained on the viewport, on the lone human ship drifting back toward them. He whispered to himself, "If one human ship can do this, what will happen when more arrive?" He felt both gratitude and fear. Gratitude that his people still lived. Fear that humanity had returned to the galaxy, and nothing would ever be the same again. The void was quiet once more. The wreckage of the enemy fleet drifted silently, glowing faintly from dying fires. Broken hulls spun slowly in the darkness, evidence of the storm that had just ended. Inside the alien vessel, Valaren, the crew, still struggled to believe what their eyes had seen. Dozens of warships destroyed by a single human vessel. It defied logic. It defied everything they thought they knew of war. The captain stood at the viewport, his claws trembling slightly. He had commanded many battles, seen many defeats, but never had he witnessed such precision, such fury. Behind him, his crew whispered, "They saved us." "No, they destroyed them, all of them. Are we safe, or are we next?" The voices carried both hope and fear. No one truly knew the answer. The comms crackled. Captain Elias's voice filled the chamber once more, calm and steady as if nothing had happened. "Commander Zorak, repairs on your vessel are temporary, but enough to keep you alive until our ship can tow you to safety. Medical teams remain aboard. Rest. You are no longer in danger." Zorak swallowed, his voice unsteady. "Human captain, I owe you the lives of my crew, but I must ask, why? Why risk your ship for strangers?" There was a long silence. Then Elias answered, "Because when a call is made, we answer. That is who we are." The words struck deep. So simple yet so powerful. The aliens could not understand such a reason. Empires weighed costs, counted numbers, measured risks. But the humans, they simply acted. The Resolute locked docking clamps and began towing the crippled alien ship through the stars. For the first time in days, the crew felt their vessel moving. Hope returned, weak but real. As they traveled, some of the younger crew gathered near the viewport. They watched the human ship ahead of them. Its dark hull was scarred and battered, yet it moved like an unstoppable force. One whispered, "They came for us when no one else would." If they can do this for a broken crew, what else are they capable of? Another replied quietly, "Perhaps the galaxy was right to fear them." The alien captain remained silent. His mind turned over the same thought again and again. If one ship held such power, then what of a fleet? What if humanity had not been forgotten but waiting, watching, preparing? When they reached a nearby star system, the humans began transmitting on wider channels. The alien crew listened as the message spread. "This is Earth Command. To any who hear, the call for help was received, and we have answered." The words echoed across frequencies, spreading like fire. The alien captain felt his chest tighten. This was no longer a simple rescue. This was a declaration. The humans had revealed themselves. After years, after centuries of silence, they had returned. Not as myths, not as whispers, but as reality, and they had returned in the only way humanity ever could. Through war, through power, through victory. The galaxy would hear of this battle. Already, traitors and spies would carry the tale across star lanes. Empires would tremble. Councils would panic. Armies would prepare, because now they all knew. When a plea for help was sent into the void, Earth was listening. The alien captain looked one last time at the human ship. He felt gratitude for their rescue. But beneath it was something else, something deeper. Fear, because humanity did not just save them. Humanity had made a statement. The galaxy had ignored their cry. The galaxy had abandoned them. But Earth had answered, and the galaxy would never forget that answer. As the stars stretched before them, the alien captain whispered words that none of his crew could hear. This was no rescue. This was a warning. The human ship moved ahead, its engines burning, bright against the darkness. Behind it, silence followed, an unnatural silence, heavy with meaning. The silence of enemies destroyed, the silence before a storm yet to come. For the first time in ages, the galaxy had heard Earth's voice again, and Earth's answer was final.